Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Fan Frenzy podcast. I'm your host, Chris Borgia, alongside co-hosts Ben Lotman, Gabe Lade, and Jake Holtzauer. Unfortunately, we are not in the studio because somebody likes to keep taking our time slot. Jake, you were supposed to figure out who keeps doing it. So,
Well, I got a text message yesterday. I showed you
Oh,
guys
yeah.
about like a random person that wanted to meet me.
yeah, that was weird.
I don't know. He hasn't responded today, so show
I don't
yourself.
know. Yeah,
One
show
of the
yourself. Stop taking our time slot. By the way, it's not cool.
Yeah,
It's not
Yeah,
cool.
it's ours.
That's what I
not
mean.
my
It's
fault
ours.
for doing it last minute.
We ain't giving you no crap. We're giving the other people crap because we
Yeah.
can. So to start us off, per usual, with the news, and then we'll go into everything. Jared McCain is officially the favorite for Rookie of the Year. I think out of everybody else in the draft class, he's the only one who's actually done anything. From the looks of
Pretty
it,
much.
Zach Edey also.
Zach
has
Edey's been
good,
like-
but
he fouled
Okay.
out like his second game. That's why I'm kind of like.
Is anybody really all that surprised at this rookie class?
Well,
hasn't been very
the one
good?
guy,
Like,
the other guy on Memphis though, he was looking pretty good. What, Jalen
Wells, I think.
I think
yeah.
was his name. He was looking pretty decent.
Was he drafted in the second round? I don't remember.
I think
seeing his-
so. I think so. I mean, this draft class though is not looking
I mean,
too hot.
there's no top 5 picks.
yeah.
Anywhere near the Rookie of the Year.
You know who I kind of like though, actually. Wait, I'm
Oh,
getting if this guy's a rookie or not. Stephon Castle.
he is a
Was he
rookie.
last year?
Yeah, he's a rookie. He was
Okay,
drafted
yeah, I
fourth.
completely forgot.
He was
I thought it was
drafted
Stephon
fourth
Castle.
overall to the Spurs.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been nice. I was watching that
Is
Lakers
he-
Spurs game the
he's
other day.
not
He was
bad.
good.
Is he the 19-year-old that got drafted, or is it?
No,
is that someone else?
no.
He turned 20 on November 1st, so
Oh, so he was. He was
Maybe.
19.
yeah, so I guess he was.
Oh,
Yeah.
maybe then. I was hoping that he was gonna. Before they got Chris Paul, I thought he was gonna wind up being the main guy alongside Wemby. But then they were like, no, we'd rather give him a year to develop under Chris Paul and see what we can turn him into, which is fair. I mean, the kid's still a project at the end of the day. I mean, most of the guys in this draft class look like a project.
I'm really not a big Chris
So-
Paul guy, but like, what a great mentor to have as a young point
I
guard.
love Chris Paul. I've always been a big Chris Paul guy. Some
Talk
other
about weird.
news. Congrats to Jake for Luis Heel being the AL Rookie of the Year. I think it should have still been Kowser, but
You're
that's
crazy.
just me.
Do you see his stats? A 10
We're not
Ks
debating
per 9.
this.
10
not
Ks
debating
per
this.
9. That's crazy.
Dude,
for a rookie.
honestly, that might have been one of the worst AL Rookie of the Year winners of the last decade. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not saying he's
He's a
bad,
rookie.
but
What are you talking about?
it's one of the worst ones. I mean, there's been last year, like rookie year wise, has been very good.
Yeah,
Over
and then
in
you're
the-
Why is there a man walking into my
Oh no.
shout out. Oh my God! Shout out Danny Podolsky.
Boys, it's been a long time coming. And I just want to point out some numbers real quick. Philadelphia Eagles, 8 wins. New York Giants, 2 wins. Malik Neighbors, 0 people that I know have matched with on Tinder.
Oh
Johnny
no.
Wilson,
Oh no.
1 person I know has matched with him on Tinder. So if you're asking me right now, I would say that Eagles 6th round rookie out of Florida State, Johnny Wilson, 6'7" with 1 touchdown this season, is having a better rookie season than the 6th overall pick, Malik Neighbors of the
Danny,
New York Giants.
Danny, quick question for you.
Yes.
You have a ring. I'm assuming that's a Super Bowl ring from
That
the
is a
Eagles Super
Bowl
Bowl
ring,
on
Super Bowl
your
52,
shirt.
yes.
We're comparing the Eagles and Giants right now. Would you like to bring up some
Oh.
stats surrounding Super Bowl wins?
Yeah, in the last 10 years with active players, Eagles 1, Giants goose egg.
That's
Okay,
one way to get around that
about-
question.
I mean, I guess, but what about the last 15 years? Because then the answer
I've
changes
got-
a lot.
I've got one.
to throw some support over to our friend Danny over here, Jake. You're not even
Okay.
from New York, and you like New York teams.
Why is this
Now,
surprising?
Danny,
Why is
Danny,
this
one more for you that we'll probably get into at
Wait,
some
wait,
point
wait,
later
wait,
this
wait.
episode.
I actually got one last question specifically for Gabe and Jake, and then I'm gonna go back to doing some really strenuous homework.
Sure.
But real quick, because I'm truly intrigued to know your answer. The running back position this year for the Giants. How
Running
has it
position.
been? How has it been enjoying the combination of Devin Singletary and Tyrone Tracy in
Amazing.
comparison to the near decade of when you guys had Saquon Barkley.
Amazing, because we're not paying a running back $13 million to potentially
Win
not
MVP.
win a be the reason.
To win MVP.
To carry a team
That's
to
classic.
to carry a team to almost the 1 seed in the NFC.
See,
Here's
I got
my
into
here's my
I got
honest
to-
answer about that question. Like, not even joking. It's a little not refreshing because Saquon is Saquon, right? But we knew that we had a ceiling with our roster, even with the best running back in the league in Saquon Barkley. And now that he's gone, it's kind of like there's no expectations from the running back position. So anything Tyrone Tracy Jr. does is a benefit. It's a bonus to us.
I agree, Gabe, and also I got into an argument with one of my high school friends.
I like
Yesterday,
what Tyrone
about Barkley.
Tracy's been so far for you guys.
He's been very good.
He's good. He's
Yeah,
good.
amazing.
Solid.
Um,
He's no Saquon, but you know.
if the Giants didn't win with Saquon, why pay him all the money to still lose with him? It doesn't make sense.
To sell tickets.
We have neighbors to do that.
Fair enough. I got one final one, and then I'm truly out this time.
Okay.
The tight end position of the Giants. In my opinion, the Giants have been lacking a true tight end since the departure of Larry Donnell. Can you please speak on that specifically, Jake?
Why Larry Donnell? He was nothing.
Larry Donnell, I'm telling you.
I think he's
Larry
trying
Donnell-
to hit home, Jake, for you to say that Darren Waller was on your team for like 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, but he was also the
Jake, I'll
best
say
tight end.
this.
when he
Wait. Didn't we have
I'll say
what's
that.
his name? What was the Panthers? Kelvin Benjamin. He was our tight end. He was our tight end
Interesting.
for like a couple minutes.
All
I'll
right.
say
yeah.
this. I've been watching Eagles Giants my entire life, and there was no tight end that the Giants have ever had who I've more feared burning one of our safeties on a seam route than a prime 2015 Larry Donnell.
Not Jeremy Shockey. Like,
That's
what
what
are
I
we
was gonna
talking
say.
about here?
All right.
I love you all. Great podcast.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah, Danny, we gotta get you on.
Shout out to
Special
Danny. Back to the news so that we can get into the show. Paul Skeens was the rookie of the year on the NL side, which is the better at the 2 rookie of the years.
By a lot.
Don't even
By
try
a
and yeah, it's by a big margin.
Yeah, there's-
Oh yeah, but also Paul
Um,
Skeens looks like literally looks like prime.
I want to say
Pedro
this too,
Martinez
real
right
quick.
now.
I seen a video earlier, and I thought it was really funny how this dude was like cheesing, and as in that, if you don't know what that means smiling, harder of himself being in a fire truck than him winning Rookie of the Year, which I thought was
Oh, yes.
really funny.
When they interviewed him, did you see what happened? They were like, "How did you feel?" And he was just like,
Oh yeah,
"It's cool."
yeah,
it's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, at that point, you got to be.
How do you
expecting it.
live a life like him, and he's just like,
Well, Jokic does the same thing. He'd rather go.
Yeah, because
race-
probably realize
no,
that
no,
he's gonna
no,
have to
no,
give
no.
half of
There's a
his
big difference
belongings
between there's a big difference between him and Jokic. Jokic is a dude who lives in West Bumble and rides horses. Meanwhile, Paul Skeens is out here winning Rookie of the Year with a 10 out of 10 woman to back him up.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
Chris, maybe
he's
it's because he has to
shining.
give half of his belongings away to whoever pulls that one Travis or Paul Skeens card.
Yeah.
Like
By the way, I've commented
half of his
multiple times. I've
like
pulled it, and nobody
25
believes.
signed jerseys, like 10.
You-
like,
Do we spend the entire funds of our podcast because
Yes.
we have an advertising budget? We totally have a real advertising budget. It's really big for our viewers at home. Do we spend the whole budget on buying boxes?
Yes.
And next
Yes.
podcast is just us doing an opening. Yes or
Box
no?
opening. Whoa.
No. Next up on the news, Jose Siri was traded to the Mets. Let's take your quick opinion on it, Gabe.
Harrison Bader replacement, not bad, but looking forward to a different outfielder potential signing this
Okay.
offseason, if you get what I'm saying.
Well, Gabe, I have
Okay.
a question about that real quick.
Hurry up, make it quick.
Is Tyrone Taylor still under contract?
That is a good question and one that I
Because he-
cannot answer at this
Okay, let me look it
moment.
up real quick because he played center field in the playoffs and he did pretty
He was good.
Yeah,
So
he
I
was
just want to
very
see
good.
if he will start or not because I think Taylor's going to be the starter. He's still with the Mets, so he's probably going to start and Siri's going to be the fourth outfielder. He's a meh.
All right,
That's all
some
right.
other
That's it.
some other football news that I got, or well, that was baseball. Some other news that I got, which is football, was the Jets fired their GM. It's a little questionable. It's a
I got
questionable
I got
move.
strong opinions about this. Okay, I'll keep it brief, but
Please do.
great GM, formerly of the Eagles. He was the assistant GM for the Philadelphia Eagles. Built a great roster, and his owner forced him to trade for a bad washed quarterback. I said it at the time. I will say it forever. Dumb trade, made 0 sense. and he's made the team actively worse on both sides of the ball because he forced their head coach to be fired, who is a great head coach, and completely ruined their defense. So I completely blame Aaron Rodgers and their owner. So
On
both
on the
of those
topic of head coach and GM firings, the Bruins also just fired Jim Montgomery, which I thought was a stupid move. You're 8-9-3 in your record on the year, and you act like you don't have to play the Panthers multiple times a year. So I mean, it's
I mean,
pretty
in hockey,
questionable to
it
get
hap- it
fired to
happens.
fire
It
him. No,
Chris-
I get
happens in
it,
hockey.
but it's a questionable move. The Bruins are always a good team, and firing your head coach didn't make a lot of
They
sense
are-
there.
Chris,
They
I
they
got
are
some.
getting a lot older though, Chris. I will say. So this might be like the downturn of the Boston Bruins finally. Probably
Yeah, but see,
not,
hockey's weird. Like how the Capitals are real old, but they're playing really good. What did you want to say, Jake? Jake,
Sorry, I lagged out a little bit. I do have breaking
his controller
news.
disconnected.
Speaking of coaches and
Yeah, just
managers,
staring.
Stephen Vogt just named AL Manager of the Year
I was actually
As
gonna
well
bring
deserved.
that up.
16
Okay.
minutes ago.
Okay, cool. Can you keep us updated on the other side when that comes through?
Absolutely, I'm waiting for that
Thank
to come
you.
out. It's showing up on MLB
Um,
Network right now.
Some
So-
other news that we got. This one's a little bit weird. Connor Williams retired mid-season for the Seahawks starting center position. That was like really weird.
Was
Did
he?
he was their starting center.
Yeah,
He
it's
just had enough.
he's had a lot of like up and downs with like
I get
different
that,
off
but
the
you
field
you
stuff,
you,
but-
you would usually wait till the end of the year, not just mid-season. Just be like, "Yep, go have fun, go
Seahawks-
find a new center, go
Seahawks
find a new center
also-
mid-season."
It's another thing that the Seahawks cut their leading tackler, I believe, going into this past
Yeah,
weekend,
they did.
which is also a move you never see. Even though he was not that good of a player, like
Does make
it's just
sense.
they've made some really
Um,
weird moves. I don't really know what's going on with that
Some
team, to be
other-
honest, but
Some other quick football news that I have. Does everyone in here know the name Julian Lewis? I hope you do.
yes, yeah.
Because you're going to be hearing that name a lot more. Julian Lewis was the number 2 ranked prospect in the world for college football, quarterback, and he committed to USC a little while ago, and he decommitted. And there's only one spot where I think this kid's going to go.
He
He's gonna be a
followed Chris on
bulldog.
Instagram.
To the team that's missing the college
He's going to
football
be a
playoff. Yeah,
nice
cool.
bulldog. And speaking of the Bulldogs, oh, Rocky Top, how's that going for you, Tennessee?
I know you're not a fan of bringing up other opinions in Georgia in this situation, but is Michigan a potential option for him?
No, for the sole factor of they're gonna lose like 3 or 4 of their top players in this draft.
Yeah, but he
So-
can play at Michigan right away.
Yeah, but he'd start at Georgia too. And wouldn't you rather play for a team that has a lot of different things going for them right now?
I think Georgia would rather just get not a veteran, but like an older transfer QB than start a freshman.
I
I'm
do have
positive
another college
Kirby
football
Smart
team.
said he would start him if he came.
Guys, all I want to say is that Penn State plays
Oh my God, here we go.
on the 23rd, 3:30 at Minnesota. If they win, they're in the college football playoff, confirmed 100%. So, guys, I'm not losing my bet. I'm not losing
No
my bet.
one
I'm a
cares
genius.
about no Penn State.
I'm a genius. Just call
Yeah,
me
you
bad.
want to
It's
know?
like a
You want to know a
college
quick?
football
You want to know a quick thing, real quick, before I hit the last piece of news and then we go into the show. Did you guys know that Kirby Smart played for Georgia at one point? Our head coach. And did you know what happened last time he played Tennessee? He got an interception on one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, Matt Peyton Manning.
That's funny.
Yeah,
Really?
it's,
funny.
it's pretty funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty
that's
funny.
funny.
The last little bit of news that I got before we move into our first segment and so on and so forth. I know Gabe wanted to touch base on this a little bit, so let's go into the fighting world for a little bit before
Yeah.
we touch base on what Gabe
Okay.
exactly wanted to speak about. I'm going to throw this out there and you take this as you wish. I do not care that Mike Tyson lost at all. Mike Tyson
Whoa.
is still my guy. His legacy is still untouched. If we
He was
took
fighting
Mike
demons
Tyson
before.
and put him 20 years younger, I promise you, Jake Paul is going to be in a hospital bed the next day. There's no shot that if you're going to sit here and talk crap about Mike Tyson and try and say that his legacy is bad, there's just no way.
All
I don't care what
wanna
anybody
say
says. There's no way.
Is Shout out to Mike Tyson and Jake Paul for getting a bag and doing basically nothing.
Nothing.
Just standing in a
Yeah.
ring, going like this. I could
They
have done
weren't
that.
even. It wasn't even the
didn't even do
best
anything.
fight.
They
of
both
All
the
I'm
made
night.
gonna say
20
is
mil.
though, it was pretty funny that Mike Tyson like kept biting his glove during the match. I thought that was
That's crazy.
hilarious.
I need Jake Paul versus John Jones immediately.
I just thought it was funny because he was doing it as a joke.
And
Speaking
Ben, you
of
know
John
who we have to
Jones
thank?
though,
We have to
You
thank
you
Joe
like that
Budden for
transition?
I'm
this.
glad
You
you
like that
brought that up.
transition?
This past weekend, John Jones defeated Stipe Miocic by TKO and retired him.
Yeah.
I knew the
Said-
retirement was gonna come one way or another, but I'm glad Dana White finally addressed what needed to be said. You are not fighting Alex Pereira, John Jones. If you want another fight in the
Alex
UFC,
not next.
you have to fight Tom Aspinall, and that's what I've been waiting to hear.
Well,
This
there's two.
dude is so scared of Tom because he knows Tom will knock him out. It would be beautiful.
I don't think it's.
I'm
gonna
not even a
happen.
John Jones hater at all. I just want the dude to be proved wrong for once.
I just don't think
Chris.
it's going to happen.
What's up?
Here's the two things. I think the biggest piece of news that we got out of that fight, besides also before I move on, Charles do Bronx Oliveira with a big win over Michael Chandler.
That
now
was a huge
setting
win.
him up
That
for the
was
title
awesome.
fight against the winner of Armand versus Islam.
I've
Very
always
excited
been a big
about that.
fan of. I've always been a big fan of Oliveira, but I started to
I've
get
loved Drew
scared
Bronx. He's my favorite
towards.
fighter.
I started to get scared a little bit more towards the end of the fight where he kept getting it.
Yo,
where they kept
Chandler's
wrestling
a
and
Back of the
stuff.
head, there was like
Bro.
20 shots to the back of the head.
Yeah.
Yo,
What's the
Gabe,
last piece you wanted to bring up?
Gabe,
Yeah.
the fact that Chandler kept picking him up at the end and just slamming him on his back
Yeah.
was awesome.
Michael Chandler's hilarious, and honestly, I can't wait to see what's next for him as well. I think Max Holloway would be an interesting fight for him.
Max
But
Holloway.
anyway, what I
killed
was
him.
going to say, the biggest news of the night, I feel like, was that John Jones did not retire, and he said that he is willing to fight Tom
He
Aspinall
plans on
under
fighting
the-
for a while.
under the circumstance that he gets paid unrealistic amounts of money, which obviously Dana White is probably going to try to do because that would be one of
Yeah.
the biggest fights I've ever seen. But Chris, here's the point that I'm going to bring up here. I think we got to, on the show, if it gets announced, we got to make a bet on that because I absolutely have John Jones winning that fight.
I have
He looks
Tommy.
unbelievable against Stipe.
I have
Yeah,
Tommy.
Stipe's 42. He's old. He hadn't fought in like 3 years, and that was his last fight. But John Jones looked absolutely
Gabe,
amazing.
you can have John Jones all you want. I will gladly ride with Tommy. Gladly.
I am not a
Dang.
Tom Aspinall hater. I think he's amazing, and he will be the heavyweight champion as
All
soon as
right.
John Jones retires.
We'll have
Not
to
yet.
wait on that one.
If that
The
ever happens,
last
yeah.
the last thing that I will say, and then we'll move into our first
I got
segment.
one more. I got this
Um,
news, Chris. It's important.
Is it the other side of the manager of the year?
No,
Okay, go on. Real quick.
it's something that you've been rooting for a very long time, and I can't believe you missed it over your news segment. Stan Drayton's gone.
I was gonna say somebody has to bring that up.
Stan
I mean-
Drayton is gone.
I didn't even want to bring him up on this. Honestly,
Really?
no, he's not worth my time. You know, I got a text though. I got a text though from Hayden the other day asking if I took any pictures of him, and I was kind of just like, no, I don't think I ever wanted to begin with.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. At the press conference,
Adam
he did
Fisher,
bring
I
his
have
daughter.
pictures of because I like Adam Fisher. Stan Drayton, no.
Oh.
He brought
yeah.
his daughter to the.
He brought his daughter out during the press conference, and everybody in the room kind of like went silent because usually when you bring out a family member like that, like usually it's like you know something's
Bad
up.
sign. To hit us with our last two things though. So I actually got 2 fight announcements from the UFC. I don't know if Gabe might have seen them, but they're both pretty big. Do you know either of them, Gabe?
I have a feeling I know what one is. Are you gonna talk about Ian Machado, Gary, and
I am
Shavkat
talking about
Rakhmonov?
Ian Machado, Gary, and Shavkat Rakhmonov.
I'm so excited.
This is a battle for, I don't know, Jake and Ben. Do you guys watch a lot of UFC or no?
I just watched my.
I
full
know about it. I don't
feature
watch it
length-
that much, but
Both
yeah,
of these guys are undefeated.
Yeah.
They're both
Wow.
coming for each
Yeah,
other.
I
Shavkat
watched the
Rakhmonov-
entire thing for the
By the way,
I'll
first
say
time.
this.
Shavkat Rakhmonov, 18-0, 18 finishes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this. I
Crazy.
like Ian. I
What
never
weight
had a
class are
problem
they?
with Ian.
It's at
What?
welterweight.
Oh
Both
yeah,
way?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I never had a problem with Ian a day in my life, but I've said to about 1,000 people, and my whole friend group could back this up. I said the last person I would want to walk into an octagon that is on the current roster is Shavkat
That was a
Rakhmonov.
bad man right there. He is a
He is a
might be the
scary
scariest fighter
dude.
besides Islam, in my opinion.
I said I would fight anybody before I fight him. I don't care. I will fight
And give me
anybody before I
anybody
fight
on that
Shavkat.
roster.
Last
I
guy.
absolutely agree.
Gabe, that means you didn't know about the other fight that I'm about to announce that came
Other
up.
fight.
So obviously Ian Machado Gary is out of his other fight.
Oh,
So,
I know who you're
Colby
talking
Covington
about.
is stepping in to fight Joaquin Buckley
Yeah.
in
What
an
an
absolute
interesting matchup.
heater. No, that's a heater of a fight.
It is. And
I
you know
gotta
what?
admit.
Colby always finds his way into title fights, so somehow he's going to win, and he's going to be the first fight
I don't think he's gonna
Shavkat
win this
gets.
fight.
I don't think so.
Buckley.
Just looking at the fight itself, yeah, I think Joaquin Buckley has this, but somehow
So do
Colby
I.
always finds his way into those title fights. I don't know how.
All right. Moving into a quick little thing real quick. I'll let everybody give a quick fantasy football update. No one move into the show. Jake doesn't want to. All right. I just won this past week 157 to 155. I
Dang,
beat Preston because of what I like to call the three-headed monster in David Montgomery, Saquon, Joe Burrow, or four-headed, and Amon-Ra carried my team. I'm kind of at the point where I just want Travis Kelce to retire because this is getting annoying. Dude,
he had
thanks,
3 good weeks in a
thanks
row before
Hawkinson
that,
in
though.
my other league, by the way. Thanks Hawkinson. If I would have started Ertz, I would have won. That's wonderful. That's kind of my fantasy football update, though. Anybody else want to give theirs?
I'll go. In my other league, I'm going to be in last place. Cool, yay! So excited about that. Can't wait to run a beer mile. I mean, it's not 100% guaranteed, but it probably is going to happen. But
Okay.
last week in our league, I beat Patty Heckard, who is still in last place at 2-9. 140.
Wait, who else did he beat? I was the only person I thought that he beat. He must have beat somebody else then.
His team is actually not that bad. He beat Jake Holtzauer last week, who's
I don't know who that is.
yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
my team is rounding into form. My wide receiver room is kind of weak, but Jawan Jennings looks like he could be a steal of a pickup. And I also would argue I have the best quarterback room in the league with Baker Mayfield and Jalen Hurts.
Gabe, are you giving an update?
So
Oh, you know I'm good enough, dude.
Give your quick update then.
I will say I've pushed into a playoff spot. I am basically 1 win, I guess 2 wins away from claiming a playoff spot, which would be a great
give
turnaround.
your quick update, Gabe, so we could go into the
Yeah, real
segment.
quick. I haven't updated you guys in a while, so I've been absolutely dominating this league in the past couple weeks. However, this past week I had an absolutely abysmal week. Still managed to pull out a win by less than 4 points. All thanks to Joe Mixon's 35 ball. So he accounted for more than a third of my team's points in that one night. But we moved. We're the first team into the playoffs. We got that. We clinched the playoffs at 9-2.
Jake,
Excited to win this league.
I got the update before you did. The NL Manager of the Year is Pat Murphy of the Milwaukee Brewers.
Hey, good for him.
I like that. I like that pick.
Yeah, I didn't pop up on my phone yet. That's crazy.
Solid
Yeah,
it was either going to be him or
that came up
Mendoza.
on MLB's Instagram.
Oh yeah, I don't get notifications from them.
That's a good pick. I like their picks.
It's either him or Mendoza. I honestly think Mendoza. might have deserved it more.
I honestly would thought Mendoza should have won.
Yeah, but I mean, Pat Murphy.
had a really
the
good year.
Brewers weren't expected to win anything, so good for him.
All right, moving into the first segment, Player of the Week. I'll start us off. Mine's pretty straightforward, though. Looks like 2 people might be talking about rookies this week for their Players of the Week, specifically ones that are looking to aim to win awards here. So I'll start us off. Welcome to Guantanamo Bay, people. We're
that was good.
We're witnessing a dog in here. Listen, I'll put it to you this way. I ran into a friend of ours. I believe Ben and Jake, you both know who this said person is. I don't think Gabe knows who he is. But I hope that Gabe will one day get to meet the great Jay Matthews.
Oh, gosh. Oh, God.
After I ran into him today, because the last time I seen
pod.
him was on Thursday. And after I ran into him today, he dabbed me up and was like, I hate y'all. And I said to him, why? Because the Eagles beat the Commanders? Yes. And then I proceeded to say to him, so on Thursday, when you said Terry McLaurin was going to have 100 yards, what happened? He got sent to Guantanamo Bay. We are talking about a rookie who is having a better rookie year, and I don't care if you try and debate me on this, Jake Gabe, he's having a better rookie year than Sauce Gardner out here. This is unbelievable numbers that we are seeing. He is locked up. CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, Terry McLaurin, Olave, Neighbors. He is locking up everybody's wide receiver ones out here. This dude is unbelievable.
Wait, but is he all pro? Because Sauce Gardner was all pro when he was.
He's on pace. He's on pace to be a pro.
I'll put it to you this way too. Gabe, I don't believe you were there, but I know Ben and Jake were there when we had our draft show over near my house, and I know both you seen my reaction when we took Quinyon. You know I was really.
I was so
excited. I told you to shut up.
You said what?
I said Lillian told you to shut up because y'all were screaming.
Listen, I was hyping. And then guess what? It was literally the next day they had the second round the next day, right?
Yeah.
I went to my buddy's 21st party, and I was literally sitting there at the table watching the draft on my phone, and they took DeJean, and I was like even more excited. So I love what these rookies are bringing, man. I mean, I think I also need to get a few more Eagle shirts come Christmas time. One being the Saquon Hurdle, another one being the exciting white shirt with Reed Blankenship and Cooper DeJean on it, and then a Quinyon Bay shirt.
Exciting white.
So we're having a blast over here. Who would like to go next though?
I'll go next. I'll keep the
rookies.
The Philly rookie momentum going.
Rookies. To throw it out there before Ben says this guy's name, I will admit this dude Ben over here was very high on. So was I as well.
Yeah, I mean, look, I did say. I mean, I'm sure I told you guys this, but I said he was the steal of the draft, and that's Jared McCain.
I agreed with you.
Now, here's the thing. I watched pretty much every game of his in college. I try and watch.
So let the fans know you are a fan of what team?
I'm a fan of Duke. Yes.
Thank you.
I watch pretty much every single Duke game.
Don't put a thumbs down.
Yeah,
what are you doing?
No,
we're 3-1.
In a Temple? That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Well, I'm also
the best
a fan of Temple.
in the country.
Not everybody wants to root for Temple, guys.
Dude, there's so many college teams. You can be a fan of more than one team, I feel like, unless they're
I agree with
rivals.
that too.
I'm a bit of a Seton Hall fan. I'll give you guys that.
Yeah. I just pulled up the Sixers leader screen, and it's actually atrocious that Andre Drummond leads their team in steals per game. But anyway,
great defense played by your guards there.
Kyle Lowry leads our team in dude. Our rotations are so bad. I might use this time to go on a little rant about the Sixers, but first, Jared McCain. Shout out to him.
Save the rant.
Okay, I'll save it. Fine. So Jared McCain this season, he started off. He wasn't in the rotation at all. There was calls he's going to go.
I said he should have had 6-man minutes, but at this point, he's starting shooting guard. Don't care.
But to start the season, just to give some context already, he was not playing at all. Nick Nurse said they might send him to the G League to get him some minutes. And eventually, Tyrese Maxey gets hurt, so he gets a bench role. And I forget what game it was exactly. It was 6 games ago or something. He goes off. He scores 25 points in 8 minutes or something crazy. So then he gets moved into the starting lineup and has still continued to be super efficient. He's shooting 48% from the field, 40% from 3 on 20 minutes a game. Hasn't missed a free throw yet this season. He's shot
great.
He's 20. I forget. I don't know if it says the exact number here. He's 27 for 27. So he's on pace to set the rookie record all time for most made free throws to start a career. I don't know exactly what the number is off the top of my head.
I mean, if he's 27 for 27, he's on pace to break the all-time free throw percentage record as well.
Yes, yeah.
True. Yo,
I don't know how to find that stat, but if somebody wants to find it, they can.
They should
go on StatMuse
right now so he breaks the record.
Yeah, but no, I mean, counting stats-wise, he's averaging 15 points a game and 2.5 assists. And the thing is, hasn't passed the ball all that well, to be honest with you. But the thing about him is, if you watch him, he can create his own shot, and those guys in the
1000%.
NBA always end up being, solid NBA guys, and he can play some defense.
I was gonna say, I'm assuming that he's a great defender, right?
He's not a great defender, but he's league
he can
average.
hold his own.
He's league average as a rookie, which I will take. He can definitely improve. He has the athleticism. He has crazy hops. I mean, he is really great. He's super athletic. And he's just a really positive guy. He's so positive. You always see him smiling on the court, even though the Sixers have played like crap.
Is
So
is the guy in the Yankees hat going next, or is it the
I'll give the
guy who
Yankees-
has
The
Eli
Yankees hat?
Manning? The guy who has
That's
Eli
crazy.
Manning in his
the guy in
background.
the Yankees hat.
I don't
Jake, you can
care. I'll
take it
go.
away.
Who's
I'll
wait?
go.
Well, now that you pointed at it, and he pointed at that, who's the better New York athlete?
He won MVP. He never did.
Hmm.
One
Well, I guess he has
won
two
it
rings.
all. The other didn't.
Twice.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
One had the most
One-
fraudulent one to the World Series
What's
of all
what's
time.
a more
and one
important
won 2 Super
MVP? Is
Bowls.
the Super Bowl MVP more important than the regular season MVP?
no.
Maybe not. But I mean, it does mean you still
All right,
touching the
Jake,
game.
go for it. The spotlight's yours.
Okay. This is gonna be my most curveball. Probably.
Oh my God, we're going for another
unanticipated,
rookie. He's gonna say Luis Hill.
player of the week I've ever done. I'm not going for another rookie. Actually, he's the opposite of the rookie. He's probably one of the oldest guys in the sport.
Eric Johnson.
As we know, I guess the viewers don't know, but I told everyone here that like this was my first time watching UFC like for an entire like sit down like watch it all the way until like 2 a.m. And it's just crazy all the stats they were showing and how well this guy fought. My player of the week is John Jones. He's
Yeah.
insane, dude.
Boo.
Don't listen
okay,
to
He's
the
gonna
booze.
boo John Jones.
Yeah, you know who
That's
who I
crazy.
thought he was about to say for a second, Gabe? I thought he was about to say Jim Miller. I was about to be like, yeah,
If you said
No.
Jim Miller
Miller won
won again.
again. yes.
Like it's just crazy
Jake, do you
that
know who that is?
I do not know who that is.
Okay,
No.
so to give a little bit of context on that real quick, Jim Miller, what did it say? He fought in his first UFC was UFC 80 or something like
He
that.
fought on UFC
Bro,
100,
we're on
200, and
UFC.
300.
We're on
and
UFC
he-
380.
He put
How
his
old
opponent
is
in
this
the Gilly
guy?
Goose Gang.
He's like
this past, weekend.
41, 42,
Oh, okay.
maybe.
But no,
And I mean,
but-
he won.
Gilly Goose Gang.
That's
true.
Unk. That's Unk
Yes,
status.
that's true. But I mean, like John Jones, he's 39. He is considered the greatest of all
cares?
time, and he. This is a crazy stat to me. He was undefeated as the champion in was it light heavyweight?
He's
What was the one beforehand?
So here's light heavyweight. But here's the thing with John Jones.
Oh,
He's
as champion.
technically he's kind of undefeated overall.
He's not undefeated.
His
He
one
cheated.
loss was a disqualification. He has
why was
some-
that?
he
Why
has a
was
no
he
contest
disqualified?
because he popped
Why was
for
he, why was he
steroids.
disqualified?
Huh?
Why was he disqualified?
He was disqualified for a rule that is now, as of a couple weeks ago, now legal: 12 to 6 elbows.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, but you can't get that
Wow.
off of the record. And he
He
was
also
also
had PEDs.
yeah, he was popped for roids. That's the bad thing about John Jones. But yeah, Jake, continue. Like, what did you
Him and
think?
Tatis would be the greatest of friends.
No, here's the thing. It's like going from back-to-back nights, Mike Tyson, who was considered one of the best boxers of all time, and seeing him get demolished, but then going to John Jones, where it's like it's crazy. He was undefeated. He's never been beaten as a champion. He's never been beaten. He literally said light heavyweight was too easy, so he gained like 20 pounds to go to heavyweight, and he's still yet to lose in heavyweight.
Yeah,
Like that's
He's-
insane to me. And everybody thought he was going to retire, and he goes, "I'll
I
fight
wish he
whoever they
did.
want me to fight."
I wish he did retire.
I
That's
do
insane.
not. That
So
guy.
it's crazy because like I didn't know how good he was because I wish I would have watched Mike Tyson in his prime.
Me too.
John Jones is basically the Mike
Well,
Tyson
you're
of
too young.
boxing at this point, or of UFC at this point, and I get to watch him towards the back end of his career where he's still good.
Gabe,
That's
who's your player of the week?
Yeah, and real quick, touching on John Jones. I think the best term to use regarding him is he's never been beaten, regardless of what his record says. Yeah, he has a disqualification, but that's not. It's a loss on his record, but he's never been beaten by anybody, and he probably never will be. He's just unreal as an athlete.
Well, I don't know.
Segueing.
Espinal,
Segueing from UFC into more UFC, Chris. Jake and
Is
Ben
it Jim
might not-
Miller?
It is not. It is unfortunately not Jim Miller. Although what a fight, from the New Jerseyan, if you will. It is not a fighter. It is actually an MMA gym, if you will. Chris, any guesses?
No. Oh,
It's
God.
Fighting Nerds.
Oh,
So-
I saw that dude that came from the gym.
So
That-
Fighting
he-
Nerds is an MMA gym out of Sao Paulo, Brazil. Essentially, some backstory. They have four big UFC fighters right now among their number of rostered athletes. However, just some quick backstory. It was founded by Pablo Sukupuria, who was a marketing major in college, I believe, in Brazil, and then he worked in like advertising. He's like, I can't do this anymore. I have a passion for fighting. He went pro in Muay Thai. He said that he just didn't have the skill set and like he didn't have the athleticism that a fighter should have, but he had the mindset. So he said, I'm going to build a gym. And he literally, with his own two hands in Sao Paulo, Brazil, built his own gym. And his first fighter, none other than Caio Borralho, who is now the number 6 ranked middleweight in the world in the UFC. He's an unreal athlete. And then they got together. They're like, what do we call this gym? So you have Sukupuria, who is a marketing major and then turned into advertising guy. Borralho is actually a chemistry and math teacher. So they coined the term fighting nerds, and it stuck like crazy. They've started making these glasses, which now everybody's going to have a pair of at some point. And yeah, they have Borralho, they have Jean Silva, they have Mauricio Ruffi, who actually fought this past week. This is why I'm choosing fighting nerds. He beat James Yonta in a great fight. Mauricio Ruffi is basically like the new Conor McGregor in terms of fight style. So he's a fun watch. And they also have Carlos Prates, who's also a ranked fighter. He's number 13, I believe, in welterweight. This gym's What do you say?
Do they have any champions yet?
Not yet.
No.
I think Borralho has a definite shot, and Prates is unbelievable too. I don't know. I can't really say if they're going to be a champion, but like if this gym continues on the track that it is, I think they're still undefeated in the UFC.
The guy that fought Saturday, he's still undefeated, right? He's never been beaten yet.
I think everybody in the gym is undefeated in the UFC.
Yeah.
Rufy, I believe, is undefeated as a professional fighter. I might be wrong.
They are.
But
Yeah, they are.
this gym is just unstoppable. It's sweeping. It's just taking over the entire MMA world, and everybody loves them. How can you not love the fighting nerds? It's unbelievable.
Jake, for our
Yep.
first segment, we're taking a trip into your favorite sport.
Baseball.
Yeah,
Why?
because I got some stuff I wanted to talk about. Starting us off, I forgot to
Nothing
mention on
happened.
the news part, Travis Darnell signed with the Angels, which is a weird, odd signing. They're probably going to trade him at the trade deadline. Just use
No,
him for.
they signed him to a 2-year deal. So what's going to
Didn't we
happen?
talk about that one? I feel like we
I
did.
feel like we did, but
No,
we
we
talked
texted about it in the group chat, but we
Oh,
didn't talk
well-
about it on an episode.
Well, real quick, he's basically he's built to be a backup. He's a perfect backup.
They're
re-signed
giving
with
Mike Trout
Braves.
their championship run.
He re-signed with the Braves last time to be the backup. So he's just going to be a great
I also,
teacher for Ohapi.
I had a nice question for you too, Jake.
What?
Where will the Rays be playing this season?
They would be playing at George Steinbrenner Field,
That's
and
true.
they will be paying. The Yankees will make a expected $25 million from it, which is more than any single player that the Rays
On
will
their
be making.
payroll.
On their payroll, yeah.
Jake,
Yeah.
I know it's a spring training field. I know it's like the biggest one, but how many
Oh,
does it
nice.
seat? Like, is it really that big?
It's
It's-
only like 11,000.
It's only
Okay.
like 11,000, which is about like I don't know, like
As
the
many
average
as the
of
Rays would have in attendance either
Yeah,
way.
but
so.
unfortunately for the Rays, it is the biggest spring training facility, like field. But fortunately for the Rays, it's big enough to hopefully host MLB games, and it's not
Chris.
too far away from their main stadium,
Yes.
so they're fine. It's a
Chris,
bus ride.
I just wanted to tell you some breaking news. Georgia just got ranked 10th in the polls right
Cool.
now.
Where's
I'm
Temple?
currently watching
Cool.
it.
I
That's
ain't
way
worried.
too
Cool.
high, but whatever.
Cool.
They're
I ain't-
they're
I ain't
behind they're
worried at
behind
all.
they're behind Ole Miss though. So it's okay.
Now,
Well-
Jake, you asked a little bit like 5 seconds ago. What are we going to talk about? Nothing's happened. We're
Yeah,
talking
right.
about the MLB awards, dude. You nuts?
I guess so. I mean, the MVP hasn't
the-
been announced yet.
Exactly. So the
We know it's gonna be
MLB,
Lindor though, so
the MLB awards got handed out a little bit so far. Obviously, we talked about the Rookie of the Years. The Manager of the Years were handed out tonight. I'm gonna name off your MLB first all teams, and you guys tell me if you just say yes or no if you agree or disagree with them being on it. And then I want to touch base on the Cy Youngs and the MVPs. Okay, starting us off, would you guys rather go to positions or pitchers?
Positions.
Yeah.
Okay, at first base, my boy Vladimir Guerrero Jr.
Yes. He batted 320. Did you know that, Chris?
I did know that. You
Wait,
know,
I would
you,
still
you
say- I
should know
still
that.
would've-
I know that. I have his
I
jersey
still would have
over
put
there.
Harpin ahead of him. Call me a homer, but I still
Bro.
would. Vladdy provides
no,
nothing on
Vlad.
defense.
Vlad.
I
Vlad
don't-
1000%.
Yeah, but Vladdy provided way more offensively.
Not really
Vladdy
that
was
much
way
more.
more useful
really
for
that
his
much
team
more.
than Bryce was to his.
I agree.
I don't know about that.
No, and I'm a Phillies fan. Gabe, yes or no on that?
Yeah, I like
That's
Vladdy.
3 yeses to your 1 no, Ben.
Glad Gabe's wearing the glasses.
Second base.
Yeah, I'm
Cattell
keeping these on.
Cattell Marte. I think this
Yes,
is a yes.
Yes,
Yes.
easy. Yes.
All right. Shortstop, Bobby Witt Jr.
Yes.
My
Yes.
guy. All right. Third base, we have Jose Ramirez.
Yes.
Yes.
Santos? Question mark.
No.
I like Ramirez.
Catcher, we have William Contreras.
Yes.
I like it.
Sure. Even though he DH'd like half his games.
Yeah.
That's fair.
He's not good.
Our
at-
first outfielder, we have the guy on Jake's wall right now, number 62, Aaron Judge.
Yes.
Yeah, obviously.
Maybe. No, I'm playing. Our other outfielder, we have Juan Soto,
Yes.
Jake's
Sure,
other boy.
Future
And
Yankee.
then another outfielder we have is Mookie Betts.
Yes.
And then lastly, at our DH spot, we have the greatest, none other than Shohei Ohtani.
I don't disagree with any of them at all.
I don't. What I will say is, though, before I move on to the pitchers, Jake, I don't know how many times on my For You page on TikTok I'd keep seeing the Yankees roll call. And the more and more I see it, the more and more I like the Aaron Judge thing where he goes like this.
You know why he does that, Chris? I can drop some knowledge. You know why he does that?
No.
I do not.
Because Brett Gardner, who was a lifelong Yankee, used to do that. And when he retired, nobody did it in the outfield, so Judge took over for him and started doing it to keep the tradition alive. So
I like that.
Fair. I
Shout
like
out
it though.
Brett
I
Gardner.
like the mini. I like I like that. Yeah, I like that. Starting off with our pitchers, we have Tarek Skubal.
yes,
We have Chris Sale,
yes,
Yeah, obviously.
Paul Skeens.
yes.
I did not realize he had that great of a season, by the way.
Yeah.
Dude, he had maybe
Yeah.
potentially the greatest rookie pitching season of all time,
Yeah.
besides like
Insane.
Fernando Valenzuela.
The Pirates always bring in good rookie pitchers. Garrett Cole. Zach Wheeler,
Yes.
yes,
Corbin Burns,
yes,
Emmanuel Clase,
yes. He
Yes.
almost won Cy Young.
Yeah.
sucked in the playoffs, and none other than Ryan Helsley.
A little shocked not to see
mean,
Sevy on here, but you know,
Ryan-
it is what it
Ryan-
is.
I think
Helsley
Devin
is-
Williams.
I think
might,
Ryan Helsley is hella overrated, but that's just.
I agree
He
with
throws
that. I think
hard
I would have
and he-
put Devin Williams in here over Ryan Helsley.
Well, here's the thing.
Devin Williams didn't throw enough innings though. He got hurt.
And
He
also
was
That's fair.
Helsley, Devin Williams got hurt. Helsley, he throws hard and he led the NL in saves. So
what
that's
I'll
all I
say
got.
is you don't see Luis Hill on here, but
he's
Skeens is
the
on here.
rookie.
Skeens
What do
is
you-
a rookie.
Skeens just
Oh
had the
my
best
God.
season of all time.
Chris, can I just time out real quick? If these rankings hold for college football, the first round matchup is Penn State versus Georgia. Can you imagine? That would be so crazy.
I'm coming for your
The
neck.
loser does the punishment. If that happens, loser does the punishment.
No,
And
no,
I'm
Georgia's
coming
gonna
for your
cook
neck.
us.
Ben, I'm
Georgia's
assuming
gonna
Temple.
cook us.
I'm
My
assuming-
only bet was they made the playoffs.
Yeah, at least he
Okay.
knows Georgia would
Chris,
cook him.
I'm assuming
Chris, are you
Temple
doing
gets a first round bye, Ben.
What, Jake?
I'm-
New coach.
You said what?
Are you going over second team as well or not?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, we
No.
did 17, that's
Moving
all.
on into our Cy Young predictions. Would you guys like to touch in the AL or the NL first?
AL's easier than the NL.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. The 3 guys who were put up as the options here was Emmanuel Clase, Seth Lugo, and Tarek Skubal. And if I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Jake, it will be announced tomorrow and the MVP announced on Thursday.
Yeah.
Which is perfect because I have off on work on Thursday, so I'll be watching the MVP, and it'll be the 3rd row in a year that I watch the MVP award.
Sick. It's Scooble. No questions asked.
Yeah.
I think it's Skubal
It's
too.
Skubal.
I think
the
the
best
argument
coach.
is who finishes in second.
What
and I
I'll say
Clase
is
finishes
though,
in
I
second.
don't think we
care.
can overlook what Seth Lugo did for the Royals this year. I don't think we can
Especially
overlook that.
On a cheap contract too.
Yeah, on a cheap contract guy who was just supposed to go in and just be like, whatever. Like this
Or
dude
Matt
was
Lester.
really good. He was really lights out.
New York Matt
Emmanuel
Lester.
Clase was amazing too, just not in the playoffs.
Yeah,
I think
I'd
it's
say
Tarek
Clase
Skubal,
should
though.
finish second though. I will argue
I agree.
that.
Gabe, you think it's Skubal?
Yeah, I agree with Scooble.
Fair. Over on the NL side, we have Chris Sale, Paul Skeens, and Zach Wheeler.
Okay, you know what I'm gonna
This
say.
is a tough one.
You know what
for
I'm gonna
me.
say. Zach Wheeler should win, but he's not going to. Chris Sale is going to win. I bet money on that, but Zach Wheeler should win. He put
I
up
think
better
Chris
numbers.
Sale. I think Chris Sale comes third.
What's that?
It's not.
Yo, okay. All I'm gonna say.
Chris Sale is
if you-
100% winning. It's a lock, but
Here's a
Zach Wheeler
shot.
should 100% win, in my opinion.
I don't agree with that at all because I'm gonna say one thing that baseball players will understand and people that never played baseball won't understand. PFP, pitcher field position, bro. Chris Sale won the Gold Glove at age 39. So
He shouldn't have won the Gold Glove. Zach Wheeler was a better fielder than him. That's
but
crazy.
He won the Gold Glove. He won the Gold
I don't
Glove.
care. That was just. They don't even look at
PFPs,
that.
baby.
If they actually cared about it, then Ranger Suarez would
in
win it
my
every
eyes,
single
in
year.
my eyes, I don't care what anybody says. If I was picking, I'd have Sale at third, anyways. I think Skeens is better than Sale.
Disagree. Chris Sale was
I mean,
the
if
best
you look at
pitcher
the
of all time.
numbers, in my opinion, like
I would.
Zach Wheeler
I
was
think
just
Wheeler
better.
should win this. I think Wheeler should win this, but I have Skeens at second. And I think it's closer. I think it's closer with Skeens and Wheeler than it is for Chris Sale to Wheeler to me.
If
That's
if
crazy.
I don't really think it is. I think Chris Sale is always. I've always hated Chris Sale over his
Chris
entire
Sale had
career,
a
and I think he's madly
174
overrated.
ERA plus.
I think he's overrated too.
He's old. How can you overrate
yeah,
somebody
but
that's
how many
that
innings?
old?
He only threw like what?
I've
100?
overrated
how many
him
innings
for
did he
so
throw this year?
long, Jake. They acted like when he was on Boston that he was the next big thing.
Bro,
The dude played 5 games.
Can I tell you why Chris Sale deserves it more than Zach Wheeler? Because he was 20% better. He was 20% better. Chris Sale has a 174 ERA plus, which is somehow possible, and Zach Wheeler only had a 158 ERA plus,
Zach
which
Wheeler
means
also threw 30 more innings.
that's what 3 more games. Like, come on,
It's
It's
200 innings.
a big deal. It's a big deal.
Yeah, he had 200 innings, sure, but Chris Sale at age 39 was 74% better than the rest of the league. 74% better
Gabe, who do you think's taking
than
it?
average.
Because we
gotta
know
agree with
Jake's
Jake.
taking it.
I gotta agree with Jake. Chris Sale.
I mean, Zach. Yeah,
Just
I
mad that
mean,
he's on the Braves.
look, I think I'm 100% agreeing that it will be Chris Sale. I just don't think it deserves to. If you just one
Yeah,
based off the eye
Let's
test.
get the stove cooking while we're at it. Let's move into the MVPs now. And we'll start on the AL side. I got Bobby Witt.
Okay.
Okay.
Be mad all you want. I
Chris.
got Bobby Witt.
Chris, don't get me wrong. If I were to pick a player that I think was the most valuable for their team, I would pick Bobby Witt. But that's not how this award works. For some, MVP is never actually the
It
MVP.
should not just be
It's
a
never
home
in
run
any sport, Ben.
award.
It
It
doesn't
should
I know
not
it
just
never
be
is.
a home run award.
So okay,
Well, it's not just the home run award.
yes, it is.
No, it's not. Judge. Okay.
Bro,
although-
yes, Jake, Jake, let me throw this out there. Let me throw this out there. If Kyle Schwarber was first in home runs and had as many home runs as Aaron Judge, he would have been an MVP by now.
That's just wrong because he strikes
That's
out 200
not
times a year.
wrong.
He strikes out 200 times a year. No, okay. Here.
I
I'll
think
say
that
this.
reflects in the NL race, honestly.
Was Witt the most valuable for his team? Yes.
Way
But
more valuable to his team than Judge and Soto were to theirs.
I disagree with that. If Judge or Soto wasn't on the team, they wouldn't have made the playoffs.
If Bobby Witt's on the team, they don't even crack. If Bobby Witt's not on that team, they don't crack 70 wins.
No, they make the playoffs potentially. because
No,
they're pitching.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
They're pitching.
Jake, that's
Seth
true.
Lugo's a
No,
Cy Young
they
candidate.
don't.
Cole Reagans is amazing.
You can
Like, what
have
are we talking
pitching, but
about
then you
here?
have no bats. Then you
You
have
don't
none.
need bats if you have amazing
Bro,
pitching.
look at the
They're
Mariners.
not
Look at
hitting
the Mariners.
70 wins.
Look at the Mariners. They have all the pitching in the world, one of the best rotations in baseball,
And guess what?
Still
They just
missed the
have
playoffs.
Julio Rodriguez. That's it. Randy was
and he had a bad
this year.
season, and they were screwed.
They also have Kyle Raleigh. Don't disrespect my guy, Kyle Raleigh.
Bro,
Big
come
dumper.
on.
Oh,
We're
big
not
dumper.
doing this here, Jake.
But-
Bobby
but
Witt,
Chris,
not on the
no.
Royals. They're less than a 70-win team.
I disagree.
He
I just
makes
disagree,
everybody
but
around him better.
Here's what I'll say.
He's a leader.
Here's what I'll say. Witt was more
Unlike some
valuable
people,
to the
he's a leader.
Royals.
Unlike
Yeah,
some people.
Judge
Yes.
just had the greatest, maybe
Bro.
4-month span in MLB history.
You've been saying that for so long.
Yes,
I've heard you
it's
say it
true.
so
Look at
many
the stats.
times.
Look at the stats.
No,
If
I
he
mean
didn't
over
have-
the years. I've heard you say it last year. Heard you say it like a
Yes,
thousand times.
because he's
now.
the only person doing this. He's the only person in MLB history doing what he's doing. If
Shohei.
he didn't have the terrible start to his season in April, he would have maybe had the greatest single season in MLB history, which Shohei Ohtani just did on the other end.
I just said Shohei.
Shohei just did it on the other
Listen,
end.
I know the
I
least
think
amount of
Bobby
baseball.
Witt wins this award.
I know the least amount of baseball among the four of us, but I will say this. I think a lot of times most valuable player, when you're looking at it as like who's valuable, quote unquote, gets looked at as who's the best floor raiser, right? Who makes up the worst team the best, which is what you see, like what you're saying with Bobby Wood in Kansas City, if they win 70 games if he's not there, right? Aaron Judge, what he does is he makes the Yankees from a very good playoff team to a World Series contender.
Thank you.
In my eyes, though,
I think that gets overlooked a lot. That MVP does not mean floor raiser. It means somebody that can do a
so
little
let me
bit of
ask
both.
you this,
maybe.
Jake. You actually have Bobby Witt third.
Who? Yes. Whoa, no. He has. I don't know why he said third. He's second.
You
'Cause
think
what's
he's
unfortunate-
higher than Soto?
Well, here's the thing: if Judge and Witt didn't play this year, then Soto would have won MVP, which is unfortunate for Soto because he deserves an award for this season. But Witt and Judge are just better from last year.
I don't know. I that's just my opinion, though.
Who do you
think
have
Witt-
third? Who do you have third?
I don't want to answer that.
You're gonna say Judge. You freak.
I am gonna say Judge.
What? You're just mad that Judge is better than every player on your team.
Juan Soto was better for his team than Judge was.
Yes, true. But Judge also did something that nobody's ever done.
And what did he do in the World Series?
What did your team do in the World Series? What did your team do in the NLDS? No show.
Can confirm
No
that.
show. Move on.
No, they knew
NL.
how to hit. Nick
No
Castellanos
show.
hit better than Aaron Judge did in the playoffs.
Castellanos had half the at bats.
He still did better than Judge did.
Yeah, because when you have half the at bats, if you get more hits, you have a better
I
average.
give him more at bats and he'd still do better. Aaron Judge
Crazy.
pulled a Stevie Wonder. Ben, who's your pick?
Crazy.
For what?
Judge?
For, yeah.
MVP, Judge?
obviously.
Okay,
I don't even
Gabe,
know why this
Gabe,
was
what's your pick?
I don't even know why this was a 10-minute long conversation.
Chris,
Like, why?
Chris, I agree with what you were saying earlier in that like this can't just be whoever hits the most home runs, but I think that Judge had that unbelievable stretch. I
Yeah,
have to give
because
Aaron
Judge-
Judge, and he's
Judge
also an
is
amazing
Judge.
ceiling raiser.
Whatever. All right. An MVP on the other side isn't even close.
Oh, don't start that.
It is not close.
How
It is not
can you
close.
please explain to me? I understand that Shohei Ohtani had an unbelievable offensive season, but he played half as much as Francisco Lindor did on the field. Lindor's elite
I don't
defensive play
care.
has to put him in the conversation at the very
I don't
least.
care. All right.
Yeah,
This is the
but-
same thing as the
Can we at
American
least
League.
all
It's
agree?
cut and dry.
Can we at least
It's
all
cut
agree
and
that
dry.
Ketel Marte is third on this?
Yes.
Yeah, sure. Gabe.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
But
only
listen,
thing I have to say to you,
this
Gabe,
dude went 50-50.
yeah,
But what
he
does that
did
mean?
something-
My
did
question is,
something
what does that
for-
mean?
He's the
Russell
only player to
Westbrook
ever do it.
Russell Westbrook
Yeah.
had the most triple doubles. What do points, rebounds, and assists have to do with each other, except that they're all three like kind of looked at stats, right?
Well, Gabe,
What do
The thing is,
stolen
they're
bases
all
and home runs have
different.
to do with
That's
each other?
That's
Okay,
why.
When you
so
hit a home
Gabe
run,
said-
you don't even go on base. You
It
circle the
means-
entire bases.
No, Gabe, realistically, it is. First of all, he did something that's never been done before, which is insane because baseball is more than 100 years old, and it's how many runs you can create. If you hit home runs, that means you create runs for yourself. If you steal bases, that means you get in a scoring position for other people. So it's basically how many runs can you generate as a player.
And
I
I'll put
agree
it to
with
you
that.
this way too.
My
I'll put it to
question.
you this way too, Gabe.
Okay.
When you look at it, right, when Shohei Ohtani is up to bat and there is a person on base, 99.9% of the times that guy is making it home.
Who's okay? So who's a player in the infield that could stop that from happening? He's also on that list. Who's somebody that stops runs from getting scored? Also on that list. That's my
I
argument.
don't think
He
yeah,
did-
but
True, but when
you
Ohtani-
can't
Ohtani
stop it if
generates more
Shohei
runs,
hits a
but
bomb.
Francisco Lindor stops more runs, and he also generates
Speaking
runs.
facts. He's speaking facts down there.
Right? Thank you. Maybe baseball is my best sport, but at least I can understand like Lindor's
Listen,
defensive
you
value
still
is
think
being
though that
overlooked.
Shohei is the MVP.
What are you? Wait,
I said
what
you
is
still
it?
think that though that Shohei is the MVP though.
No, I think it's Lindor because of the defensive
That's
value.
crazy.
he brings.
Bias, bro. That's bias.
Here we go.
Maybe it's
What's
biased,
worse,
but-
Jake? Jake, what's worse? Me saying Bobby Witt or him saying Lindor?
I think you saying Bobby Witt,
I
if I'm being
think
honest.
saying Bobby Witt is worse.
I think it's
Ow.
worse.
Thank you.
Because at least
I
Gabe's
do have a
argument,
valid argument.
Chris,
It's-
Gabe's
it's not
argument
like
is that
somebody had a
Ohtani
better
My
plays
team.
argument is that one's done more for his team than the other.
by like half
All
a
right.
point.
Okay.
We need to
All right.
move because we're
Yeah,
taking up a
yeah.
lot of time. Second segment, we'll try and make it quicker so we can move into the third segment. And NBA and NHL.
Here, I can take over NBA real quick.
Go
Sixers
for
are
it.
trash. Joel Embiid is not a leader. The Nets are okay. The Knicks are doing pretty good.
To give a little
Oh,
bit of
we're done.
backstory,
Oh,
to
wait,
give a
we're
little
done.
bit of
Yeah, we're done.
backstory, we had a conversation that went on last night for quite a while, which
Which is
was
incredibly ironic,
about
by the way. Can I just
Embiid
say?
being a leader, and me, Gabe, and Jake all disagreed about him not being a
was
great
on the
leader.
forefront of that
There
argument.
needs to be some more added context.
And Ben
Hold on.
Ben disagreed against the three of us, saying that he is a leader, so and so, and I said no, and I'm a Philly fan. I was like, he's really not, or else we would have won
Then
by
news came
now.
out- News came out saying that he wasn't a good leader.
And then Tyrese Maxey came out and stated that he's not a good leader and that he needs to show up
I will say
on
my
time.
point. Yes, that point was immediately disproved. But I will say my point, and I talked to Gabe about this earlier today. My point that Nick Nurse has lost the locker room is 100% true. You cannot tell
Yeah,
me he's
but
not lost the
I
locker
don't
room.
blame Nick Nurse. I blame
Listen,
Embiid. For
If
letting
the
him lose.
Sixers are
Dude,
smart, I
Embiid is
seen a
hurt.
post.
He's
I
playing
seen a
through
post
illness. How
earlier
can
that
you
I
blame
said to
him?
people.
He's always hurt.
I seen a post earlier that I said
That's
to
not his
people already.
fault.
If
How
the
is it his
Sixers
fault? He
were
always hurt.
smart, we would ship Embiid for Giannis straight up right now.
Why would Milwaukee
I
do
think
that?
if the Bucks were
Because
stupid,
you
they
give
would
them
probably
Paul
do
George
that.
on top of
Okay.
it.
Here's the thing. Me and Gabe talked about this the other day about trading Embiid, and I went through and I looked at it. It's almost impossible with new NBA rules to trade him. They signed him to a extension that runs through, I believe, what did I say, 28-29 season, runs all the way through that. Just signed
There's
the
a
extension.
few
So one thing-
select players that I would trade him for,
One-
and Giannis is one of them.
Number one, they can't trade him until at least past the trade deadline, so it wouldn't be until the offseason. Number two, I don't know who would want to trade for him because his
I
value
have
is
an
just
answer.
going down.
I have an answer.
It doesn't make any sense to swap a star for a
Yeah,
star.
here we go. Here
So
comes
the
Jake
only way-
saying the Knicks won him. The
the
Knicks
only
won
No,
team
him.
that
I
I
did not
think-
want him.
The only team I think that could possibly get it done is Houston. That's the only
Really?
team I looked at,
Wait,
and I
Ben.
was
Or
like,
the
okay, maybe.
Thunder. The Thunder.
Yeah, I was gonna
The
say
Thunder would not
OKC.
trade for him. That doesn't make any sense
Why not?
because they have Chet. Why would they?
I
why would-
honestly, I'm
That's hurt.
scared, but also I do believe that the Nets would try to make a move for him. Cam Thomas is now officially not on the trading block, but he is available for trade after not resigning.
I
don't
don't
need
want
guards.
him. We
That's
have
the issue.
McCain and Maxey.
You don't need a
No,
guard, but maybe you
Ben.
would take him. I don't know.
I don't
Ben,
think so.
Tell me. Okay, so
I'll
here's the
give
thing,
him straight up for Paolo.
Ben, for OKC. For
Yours.
OKC, they need a big man because both Chet and Hartenstein are out. I mean, they're
Again, they
having
can't trade him until the offseason.
you
so
can't trade
don't
him
don't
till the
even count
offseason.
about. Don't even think about this
Okay.
season.
fine, but they have the draft picks. Would you trade Embiid for 5 first-round picks?
Yes, but
I
I
What
don't
else do
I
I?
have
What
an
else do I get
interesting-
on top of that?
again
I have an
financially it
interesting
doesn't
team to
work.
bring
That's
up.
it.
Financially,
what?
it doesn't work. You have to add in different contracts. It's very
Well,
complicated.
they
and the
add-
other team
All
would
right,
have
Jake,
to agree to
Jake,
go
let
over
me
the
ask you
second
this.
apron.
Did they
So,
throw J-Dub on that trade?
No, what they do is they throw in Hartenstein with his contract, and if that's not enough, they probably throw in Dortz with his contract.
No, I don't want either.
Guys,
of
I
them.
have
You get
a
5 first-round
potential
picks.
suitor that I'm looking at right
5
here.
first-round picks are a big deal, but I don't. I
are
don't
you gonna say the
value.
Detroit Pistons.
I don't value
I'm not.
Dort at all.
Detroit is
Neither
my
do I
other
value
opportunity, but I don't
Hartenstein.
think. I just don't think
I have
Detroit
a
would
I
go
have a
for the
potential
second
suitor
apron.
in what would be a star for a star trade, and it would be very interesting to shake up the league. But I think it honestly could be possible, and I think he might be going to the Lakers. I
For
think it's
AD?
possible for Anthony Davis. I
That's
think
I don't
fair.
think
he's
I
getting
don't
paid a
see
lot of
them-
money. They have a lot of players to give up. I mean, who wins
What if-
that trade in a straight up Embiid for AD trade? You
I
got
would
the
take that. I would do that as a Sixers fan. I would do that. I think AD would fit a
I
lot
think
better
would
with the
do
rest
it.
of the Sixers
Loser-
roster, but
I
I
feel
just
like the
don't think it's going to
loser-
happen.
I don't
think
think it
the
would happen
loser of
either, but I
that
think it's a
trade-
possibility.
Gabe, I think the loser of that trade would straight up be the Lakers because AD's good with not being the ball handler, but Embiid kind of needs to be the ball handler on a team.
I feel like on the Lakers though, like he could be. I know they have LeBron, and that's like whatever. That's crazy, but
alright.
he is like become more of a
Final
point guard,
thoughts on NBA stuff before I give my quick rant on the NHL.
Cleveland. We didn't even touch on Cleveland. How they're on one of the best starts to a season.
You know,
of
though,
all
I thought
time.
the Sixers were gonna beat them, and they came close to it.
They did. Yeah.
What
here's my
happens if
thing.
they break the Warriors 73-9 record? like,
Here's
how
the thing.
crazy would that be?
Cleveland
Cavs
is
are
so
looking
gonna
good.
lose. In,
Cleveland
like,
and the
first
Warriors
and
are at the
second
top of their standings, by the way.
2016
um,
rematch.
Curry.
Is it
actually, Oklahoma
2015.
City is ahead of the Warriors
Is it
now. But
flipped?
anyway, I think the Sixers are probably gonna end up being like the 9 seed.
Oh, wait,
That's my
no.
guess.
Golden State is not the top anymore. They're number
Yeah,
two.
Who
I
took
think-
over?
OKC's the top.
the Sixers are only 3 games back of being the 9 seed, so it's not like the end of the world right
The
now.
Lakers
They're
are
probably
also
gonna end up in the huh?
The Lakers are the 3 seed. That just caught my attention.
The
No,
Lakers
they've
are
been on
good,
a
even though-
5-game win
The,
streak.
the Lakers are really scary because they're really good and they have the worst bench statistically in the league. So if they get any bench pieces, which they probably will get at the trade deadline or the buyout market, like 100% the buyout market, but maybe
You know
at the
who they
trade
should have
deadline,
kept? They should have
scary.
kept Scottie Pippen Jr. That kid's a stud.
Mhm.
I don't
I
care
do
what
think
anybody
Scottie
says. That
Pippen
kid's
Jr.
good. That kid's real
You
good.
know, by the
Um,
way, OKC is scary this year because they don't have any bigs. I'm pretty sure they're starting one of the J Dubs at center.
Jalen Williams, probably the one from Arkansas.
Yeah, the big. And they're still first in the West, so they're
Well, here's the
scary.
thing. I mean, they don't. I mean, they're both
All right,
their
to
centers
end
are
the
hurt,
to
so.
end that part on this, do we all
Usually
agree
they'll
that
have 3
Boston's
centers.
probably gonna go back to back?
If the
I
Cavs,
think that they
Not
have
with the
kryptonite
Cavs.
in the Golden State Warriors, and I think that's a possibility.
not with the
I
Cavs,
just-
I think the Cavs are better.
No,
right now.
I think
you-
Boston could beat the Cavs.
Would it be great? I feel like if the Warriors
Um,
win a chip this year, Draymond Green retires.
You
Yeah,
should.
I think it's possible. Yeah, I agree.
Curry could also retire. I don't think he would, but
I
Well,
no, I think
Curry-
he is around more.
I think if they win, Curry does retire.
Curry, how many rings does Curry
Steve
have?
Kerr might
4.
retire though.
If
Steve
he
Kerr
won,
might-
they'll make it 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he said that he
Yeah,
wants
it's 4,
5
yeah.
at least. He wants at least 5 before. He
This
calls
is
it
gonna be
quits.
their
So that
best
would be
chance.
perfect.
I also think like there is a world where they could trade for Joel Embiid, but that would be really weird, and I don't know.
That
if
would be
Right.
really
that's-
sad at this
How would
point.
that
Um,
work? Would you
They
have
want to trade Jonathan. They have the. I will say the Warriors do have probably the best trade
Well,
package, but
right.
it's if the Warriors
And
would want him.
Ben,
I don't know.
Ben, would they have to trade Draymond because of the contract
No.
situation as well?
Also,
I
I
don't
low-key think
think
that the
so.
Knicks are a threat in the East too.
They still have the Wiggins contract, right?
The Knicks are still
Oh,
figuring it
yeah,
out.
they do.
So that
I
they have to
figured.
trade Wiggins,
All right.
Kuminga,
Guys.
probably Pruzensky, and some first-round picks, and then that would
Because
probably,
of timing to make this move quicker, we're just gonna. I'll do the NHL real quick, and then I'll let Ben give a quick opinion, and then we'll move into football. First off, Alex Ovechkin is 27 goals away from breaking the record, all-time goals, which
Wow.
is kind of crazy, and he's actually doing really good this year.
I
He's
don't
off
know
to
why
a
the
heater. He's
Capitals are
definitely
up.
going to break it this year. I don't know when he's going to break it, but the Capitals, so you know, if you haven't paid attention, are 13-4-1. I seen a thing stating that he might break it by February. He could honestly break it maybe January, with the pace he's moving at. That aside, though, shout out my boy Andrei Vasilevsky. If you know, you know. He hit 300 wins on his career, which is a big deal. He's the youngest and fastest to do that. I mean, the Flyers are now sitting at an 8-9-2 record. I hope with this past loss that they had against Colorado that they had a nice brief sit down with a man named Mikko Rantanen so they could try and bring him in the offseason, hopefully. It's the guy I want more than anybody. I mean, I'm hoping for it. A man can hope. A man can dream. What I'll say is-
can I just say one thing? Philadelphia could have 3 rookies of the year. Just
It's
saying,
true. It's true.
it'd be crazy.
What I will say, maybe it's a new era for Philly sports. Maybe it's time for the future.
This past era was really good, by the
Um,
way. I just want to say
Should have been in the
like,
future like 5 years ago.
I mean, we only.
What
won
I
one
will
chip,
say
but-
is,
There's always
though,
the future.
everybody knows I am the number one Matvey Michkov fan in the entire world. There is not a bigger Matvey Michkov fan than this guy right here. I love everything that he does. I watch every single moment of him. There are times where when I need to like stay up a little bit longer and I just put on Michkov highlights for Russia. I swear to God, I'm not joking on that. I am a diehard Michkov fan. With that being said, if you don't know, I am gonna make a quick shout out. Shout out to Flyers Barstool, the Instagram account run by me that is not associated with the Flyers or Barstool. I just think it's a really fun name. If you go over there, you can see all my opinions on every single game and how to keep up with it. The number one thing I will say though is The Flyers have 18 points. Forrester's starting to get it. Tippett's starting to get it. Like, they're starting to get the chemistry flow and starting to get back on the roll. Hopefully, Farabee can get more into that position as well. Travis Konechny is doing Travis Konechny things. You got to hope that Ersson can come back. You need Ersson more than anybody on this team right now because I'm not too happy with the Kolosov and Fedotov goalie situation. With that being said, I'll leave it on one note. The Flyers have 18 points. The Penguins have 17 points. It's starting to get good. I want the Penguins to be last, so we're starting to get onto a good spot.
The
for
Penguins
hockey.
are probably going to draft another elite player when.
No, that just won't happen. And I'm actually
How's Sidney
gonna
Crosby doing?
I'm actually gonna say one thing real quick. He's not been bad. I'm gonna say one quick thing real quick. I know he probably won't ever watch this unless if I tell him that I'm calling him out on it. I'm calling out one of my friends over in South Philly. He goes by the name Nick DeTrolio. Wait till Mitchkov's done by the end of the year because I've been telling you for 3 weeks now that he's way better than Connor Bedard. I'm going to leave it at that. Moving into our last segment, we have the NFL overview from this past week and our predictions. So I might as well get into the scores from this past week. And then
Crazy
we'll
week,
talk
by the way.
about it was a crazy week, and then we'll talk about our predictions. So to start us off, we had our obvious Thursday night football game in the Eagles beating the Commanders, which was a fun
By
one.
the way, score does not represent how much the Eagles dominated.
Scoreboard.
The Eagles dominated this game. They just got a garbage
Scoreboard.
8 points at the end of the game. They dominated.
Next
Great
up,
game.
we had the Dolphins beating the Raiders 34-19. The Saints beating the Browns, which unfortunately I picked the Browns this week, 35-14. Smacked them. I didn't know Derek Carr was going to play. I thought it was Spencer Rattler. The Colts beat the Jets. I know somebody in here picked the Jets. 28-27. Stop shaking your head over there. The Vikings beat the Titans 23-13. That's Ben's team. The Packers beat the Bears in a Bears fashion, 20-19 after blocking their field goal. And I've seen I've seen way too many videos of Bears fans like absolutely losing it since they have not beaten the Packers in over 2,000 days. The Lions absolutely gave Jake a parade and stomped on the Jaguars 52-6. The Rams beat the Patriots 28-22. The Steelers upset the Ravens 18-16.
I hate the Steelers so much.
who
I
else-
hate
who else
watching
I
the
don't.
games.
I don't.
I hate everything about them. I can't wait to see them lose in the
Unfortunately,
first
we
round
all
of the
took an
playoffs.
L on this game because the Seahawks upset the 49ers 20-17. The Broncos shockingly stomped on the Falcons 38-6. That's a big
I wouldn't say
upset.
shocking for me.
No, I picked the
Yeah,
Falcons.
okay.
Me and Ben picked the Falcons.
I think I'm gonna pick the Falcons too.
Wait, I thought I picked the Broncos. Whatever, it doesn't matter.
I'm pretty sure you did pick that. We'll see in the rundown, but yeah.
Maybe I thought
Yeah, I
Ben
think
did.
Ben, you probably picked the Broncos, and I probably picked the Falcons.
Yeah,
think
Yeah, I
that's-
picked the
maybe.
Broncos. Yeah, don't loop me into that. I knew what I was doing.
I thought you picked the Falcons. I thought I seen your name said Falcons. The Bills beat the Chiefs. Their undefeated streak is now ended. Ha ha ha.
Wow, look
Oh,
like
Every other fan base in the NFL gets to be happy again. Yay!
Well, to be fair, Chris, I think this just set up for the Bills to lose to them in the playoffs. So
Probably. Boo. The Chargers beat up on the Bengals 34-27. And lastly, the Texans once again handed the Dallas Cowboys an L. Making
Cowboys
it
Stadium was
34-10.
falling apart. It was
Um,
literally falling
Yeah, see, the only unfortunate part of that is I have some news that I'm going to drop on you guys. I don't have a confirmation for this yet. I recently had a talk with a man named Liam Gianelli. I know Jake and Ben both know who that is. Gabe, you might not know who that is.
apart.
I
What a
asked
huge
him because I am very high on this NFL draft class this next year. I'm really high on it. Insanely high on it. I said to him, what's your plan for the draft show next year? Because usually we have our draft show, Gabe. This year we'll probably have it back at the same spot, hopefully, because I love where we had it at. I thought it was a great spot for us. And I said to him, what's your plan? He goes, I think it's time for me to hang it up. I don't feel like doing it this year.
What?
And then I said to him, really?
He's desperate, bro.
I said, no, I swear to God. And then I said to him, so what's the plan then? He said, I think your podcast should take over on it. And I brought it up to Nick. I brought it up to Nick Parr. Nick Parr said he would let me know. So hopefully the Fan Frenzy Pod could be hosting our NFL draft show, which would
That's-
be
I'm
elite.
I mean, I'm down, but like Liam also said that he wasn't going to broadcast basketball, and then he was on the very first call of the year. So
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
would be elite. We would have a
The
blast
emphasis
with
plus
it,
the
and
people's
I'm
balls,
very
bro.
high on
I
that.
mean,
So
worst case-
leading into my point real quick though, that I really don't want Dallas to have a high pick in this draft because this is a really good draft.
I mean, worst case, we could just live stream our own thing.
Well, I would say we bring a bunch of WHIP people and then we just run it, but like live stream it. I think it'd be sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then they would have their broadcast. We would have our broadcast at the same
Well,
time.
no.
It would be
No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't have their. Why would they have their broadcast? It would be our broadcast.
no, because
know.
they
I
would
mean,
still
we'll figure it
would
out.
still
We'll
do
figure it
the WHIP show
Oh, they
draft
would.
show. Yeah,
Oh, I
they
thought you
always
said that
do
they
their draft
wouldn't.
show.
I thought you said they would. They
No, I
wouldn't.
said Liam said he doesn't want to, but I'm saying
Oh.
if we get to take it over, it would be the four of us running it, and then people jumping on for picks, and then we would go about it that way,
We'll see what happens. We'll
which would
see.
be great. Because, like I said, I'm so high on this pick. Do you want
Yeah.
to give us the
I can't
rundown
wait.
though for picks?
Yeah, just real quick. I can't wait until mock draft season because we might be doing a mock draft almost every other week.
Yeah, Jake
so-
and I are real
We'll
excited
do a
about
mock
that.
draft. We'll do a mock
I'm
draft
so
show
excited about
together.
that.
We'll do a mock draft show together on here.
Absolutely, because I'm paying attention the most I've ever paid attention.
Will Genty fall? Will he not? You'll
all
have to
right.
wait for that episode.
Absolutely. So going into the rundown for last week, we have a three-way tie for first place just in the week 11 standings, not in overall. Chris, you're still ahead only by 4 games, though, so you better watch your back.
I know. I had a
because
bad week.
Everyone's coming for you. You actually went 9-4, but you had this. I checked it out. My reaction was crazy and surprised. Chris, this is the first time you ever finished last in a week. So and is at 9-4. You only had
How
one
does
game
it feel,
worse than everyone
Chris? How does it feel?
else.
I
How's it
don't
feel
know.
to still be good?
I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna hold my words, and all I'm gonna say is I can't wait to say those words back to you during the college football playoffs. Cannot wait.
Oh.
Cannot wait. I want Penn State so bad.
Chris-
I want to rub it in all your faces when we destroy you.
So Chris, this week you lost all of your 2v2 picks. You picked the Browns and the Falcons to win. Unfortunately, they both lost. You did win most of the consensuses.
Besides the Niners.
Besides the Niners, yeah. Nobody else won that either, which is good for you. Gabe, your best pick was the Steelers. You were the only person to win an island pick this week, so congratulations.
Yeah, how'd you pick the Steelers, man?
They
Wait,
won.
did
I
they-
guess that's why.
Oh,
It
against
said
the
that on
Ravens?
the board by
Because
the way. It said
those
Steelers.
divisional matchups in that division are always weird, and I feel like the Steelers just win
All right,
games
man.
They just
really
beat-
weirdly.
They beat the
What
Ravens.
was
without
Ben's biggest
scoring a
loss?
touchdown. I'll get to that. Gabe, your biggest loss was the Jets, so it kind of cancels out the Steelers.
It does.
Ben, you didn't have a big loss. I guess the Browns were your biggest loss with teaming up with Chris. But your biggest win was the Broncos teaming up with me. So maybe you should stay on this
Okay.
side. And then for myself, my biggest loss was the Chiefs. I thought that Mahomes would win
It
against
is
Allen.
not
like he always
Mahomes.
does. What?
That's Jake's Mahomie.
Jalen Hurts has played better this season than Patrick Mahomes.
True.
That's sad.
True. That's true. Same has
It is true.
half the league has played better too. Sam Darnold. Has. And then my biggest win was teaming up with
You ready?
Gabe and Ben with the
You
Broncos.
ready? You got that board open? I'm about to start naming off games. I'm about to start rapid firing through these.
Yeah.
All right. Thursday night football, fellas. We have Gabe's Steelers versus the Browns that I picked last week.
Please do not do that. Let's not. Listen,
Versus the
Eagles,
Browns that I
Steelers,
picked
and
this past
Cowboys.
week,
Please,
so-
no.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna go with the Steelers.
Yeah, I gotta go with the Steelers.
You know,
I thought the Browns were on the up, and then they laid.
You wanna
an
know
egg
some?
last week, So
can anybody name where George Pickens went to college?
Georgia.
no, I have no idea. Chris.
That's right.
No idea.
That's right. That's right.
Some
Gabe.
small university.
Thanks for
down
bringing
in
it up.
Georgia.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I guess that's why you can't play with a bad quarterback. All right, moving on.
No, we can move on. Don't worry, I'll do it. Titans.
You didn't give your
Oh.
pick.
Oh, I
Oh,
have the
Steelers.
Steelers.
Yeah, Steelers. I think
Everybody
it's consensus.
Steelers? Okay. Yeah, you were better to announce. I'm
All
first
right,
of all, I'm the
it's-
one
it's
who
time to
announces the game.
stand
Second of
up.
all, you didn't give your pick. I'm going for the
Everybody get up.
Texans against the Titans.
Get up, everybody! Get up.
It's time to tee up. Is it
There's
time
no
to tee
shot you
up?
picked the Titans. You
It's
don't
time
have the
to
balls.
tee up. Texans up. Let's go Texans. Okay. Yeah, Texans.
Ooh.
I'm going,
Ooh.
this should also be consensus. I'm going with Texans.
Now we're going to an in-division rival game for the next few games actually. For the
Yeah.
next 3 games. Vikings Bears.
Let's let Ben go first here.
Nah, Bears.
I'm-
Nah, Bears. Look, I think the Bears, they fired their offensive coordinator. I watched that entire game.
Give me the Vikings.
On my train ride, and look, the Bears played a really good. They deserve to beat the Packers, and I think the Packers right now. The Vikings are on the downturn. The Bears kind of on the up. The Packers were definitely on the up. I think this is a possible upset. So I'm trying to gun for
So,
first place.
Ben,
I'm gunning for
Ben's
first place.
playing. Ben's playing the momentum
Gabe,
game.
are you going Bears?
No, I will not be going with the Bears.
Ben, you're playing the momentum game. I respect it if you want to try to win the league. But I'm just going with the smart
Vikings.
pick, picking the Vikings.
Okay. Next up, we have the Commanders and Cowboys. And both teams have been on a little bit of a losing streak here, guys.
This might be the easiest pick I've made in a long
I'm
time.
going
By
to
the
go
way-
Commanders.
Commanders. 100% the Commanders.
Jake was about to point at me and say Jaden Daniels fan over there.
Well, I was about
Yeah,
to say I
he is.
can't wait for next week when we predict Cooper Rush versus Tommy DeVito on Thanksgiving.
Oh, let's-
But yeah,
that's
I'm
a
going
Thanksgiving
Commanders.
game? That's a
Yeah,
Thanksgiving game?
That's probably the worst Thanksgiving game of
Chris,
all time.
we're forcing the entire United States to watch that.
Yeah.
Tommy
I'm not
Cutlets.
putting it on my TV.
Why?
Why
can't
would
wait
I
for them
want to
to talk
watch
about his-
that?
I can't wait for the national TV
This is bad on
broadcast to talk
bad.
about his
All right,
agent the
I
entire
said
year.
Commanders, Gabe. You said Commanders, Gabe?
Commanders.
Yeah,
Commanders
that's a
consensus? Okay. Next up, another in division game. Patriots Dolphins. I'm gonna go Dolphins.
I was thinking about going Patriots because they've played really competitively, but I think the Dolphins are more in a window where they think they could
Oh.
still make the playoffs. So I'm gonna go Dolphins.
And according to the
Dolphins.
according to the sheet, you're going with the Finns.
Yeah, the Dolphins.
Hmm.
Yeah, Dolphins.
That could be misinterpreted pretty easily though.
Yeah, I know. It could be.
Fins up.
I mean, Patriots. I think that's the nickname for the Patriots. I heard.
Yeah.
Gabe, Jake, picks.
Yeah,
Fins up.
Dolphins.
Fins
Yeah,
up.
Fins up,
All right. Okay. Consensus. This next one, I think there's somebody in here who's gonna pick differently. And he might be smiling right now. Chiefs Panthers. I'm going with the Chiefs. That dude's got Panthers written all
You go
over
last.
his face.
You go
right?
last. Ben goes last.
He's got
Ben goes
Panthers
last.
written. No, let Ben go last. He's got Panthers written all over his face right now. Gabe,
Yeah, Ben goes last.
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs here.
Jake,
Yeah, I'm just gonna go with a good team here and go with the Chiefs.
Ben's got Panthers written all over his face. I dare you. I dare you. I dare you so bad. I dare you.
This is my bet of the week. I pick the Carolina Panthers to win, and here's why.
Why?
You want to call me crazy?
I said he had Panthers written all over his face.
You want to call me crazy?
Plus
They are on a
425.
2-game win streak. Now, did they beat teams that stink? Yes.
Mhm.
Did their defense play better than it has? Yes. Can they run the ball and control the clock? Yes. Chuba Hubbard is 3rd in the league in rushing yards.
He's been
Bro,
going
he's
off.
Did they have
actually
a bye
picking the
week?
Panthers
Did
as
they
their
have a bye
shot.
week to prepare? Yes. Is Bryce Young playing the best football of his career? Yes. These are
Now
all
that
things.
Brooks is back.
And also, I think the Chiefs are just overrated. We've talked about it on this show. How we think the
Yeah,
Chiefs
but they
are
took
overrated.
their loss. It's not gonna happen to the Panthers.
Clip it. I dare you. Clip it right now. Clip
Okay.
it.
Instagram.
You
clips.
guys,
Hopefully
what-
I edit it.
okay. What will you do? What do I get if I pick this right? I don't get a punishment if I get it wrong. But
All right.
what do you,
All right.
you guys got to
Wait,
call
you-
me.
Should we,
if you get
honestly,
this right-
should we all subtract a point from our totals if he
No,
gets this right?
No. I think I have a better idea because it's not going to be too big of an advantage, but I think next week, Ben, if this is correct, you get to pick one game where you're on an island and everybody has to pick the other teams.
No, I got a
don't wanna
better
do-
idea.
I don't want to. I don't want to mess up the. I don't want to mess up the predictions. You guys just
I got
call
a better
me
idea.
genius.
All right, listen.
Just
The
call
way
me
we'll do
genius.
it. The way we'll do it to make it the easiest thing that we can do here. Right. You will specifically ask every single person on here for their least like their most hated athlete that they could think of, and you get to put it on their faces for the Instagram post.
Honestly,
That's- okay.
I like that.
Yeah,
That's fair.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen, but you know.
It's not gonna
That's
happen.
going to
It's
happen.
not gonna
All right.
It's going.
Next
to
up, we have the Buccaneers Giants.
happen. This is a difficult one. I heard the Giants have an up and coming star at
They
quarterback
do actually.
playing
Yeah,
this
they
week.
have
I'm going with the Buccaneers here.
I heard he's a huge fan of cutlets. I heard he has a really
Alright.
cool
All right,
agent.
listen, enough.
But I'm
Let's
going
go
Bucks.
through because we've been taking a lot of time on this episode.
Let's go Bucks.
Bucks. Jake, Gabe.
Bucks.
Gabe. I can't repeat what you said.
All
on the
right,
sheet,
Bucks. Jake.
so- Yeah, I'm gonna win now, so I'm gonna go with the Bucks.
Jake, you are typing these in, correct?
Yeah.
Damn.
Okay, next up we have Lions, Colts. I'm going Lions.
I really wanted to pick the Colts,
Lions
but
is
I'm gonna
just-
play. I can't do two crazy picks and I can't pick the two best.
Lions
teams
is
to lose, so I'm going the
B2A.
Lions.
The Lions are B2A right now.
Here's the
Anthony
thing.
Richardson did have his best game of his career last week, so that's something to watch.
And here's the thing about the Lions. Although I think they're the best team in the league at the moment, I think if they continue the streak into the playoffs, they will lose in the playoffs. So I think they need to lose embarrassingly at least once in the regular season. But I don't think it happens this week.
It's not this week.
So
No, not
it's
this
not
week.
this week.
All right, Lions for everybody then, right, Gabe?
Lions for everybody.
Cool. Next game should be everybody on the same island together too. Broncos, Raiders. I'm going Broncos.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Bo Nix might be the favorite for offensive rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
over
fair.
Daniels?
I
I
mean,
mean,
Crazy.
I
Wait, that's
wouldn't be
crazy coming from Chris. That's crazy coming from Chris.
Bo Nix is
Neighbors is
good,
not done yet.
man. But I disrespected Bo Nix. I will admit. I said he
think
should be a
James
second
Ingram is
round
still
pick,
the
not a
favorite,
first.
but
I think this is the hardest game to pick this week in my eyes. Cardinals, Seahawks.
I
Yeah,
agree.
I was thinking the same thing.
What do we do here, guys? This is the hardest pick of the week.
I'm gonna stick with the Cardinals. They've been the hotter team.
You're
I
a
think-
Cardinals
I
guy,
like
Ben.
the Cardinals too.
You've been a
I-
Cardinals guy.
I have been. I've said it since the start of the season. But the key difference here in what I thought is their defense honestly has not been that bad. Like it's been league average.
You know, I want to go
which is
last on
impressive.
here. So Jake
And-
and Gabe, you guys pick.
Kyler
Yeah,
Murray
Gabe, you go.
beat the allegations, had his best week of his career. The same week a game of Call of Duty came out. So shout out to him.
Season
Yeah.
1 did just drop though.
Jake
so-
and Gabe, what are your picks on this? Because I want to go last here.
I'm
We're
gonna
split.
go with Arizona here in a really tough pick. I
Yeah.
agree with everything Ben said, especially that last point about COD dropping and Kyler Murray. If he can do that, anything is possible with this.
Jake?
football team.
Here's the thing. The Seahawks just came probably off of their most deserving and hard-fought victory of the season against the Niners. I'm predicting the Cardinals, even though I believe they're a good team, I think they fall off towards the end of the year and finish last in this division. Even though they're leading right now, I think they finish last. So
I mean, it's entirely possible.
it is possible. I don't think it's crazy to say. So I just think they missed the playoffs this year, which means they have to start losing games. So I think the Seahawks win this game. And if this is an island pick for me, I'm all for it because I'll
Great
back,
island.
I'll back the Seahawks.
It's a solid island pick if it.
Yeah.
It
This is
It's a
tough.
true 50-50, I would say.
This is tough. This is
It
such a
depends-
hard pick for me,
Yeah, it
dude.
depends if Chris wants to toss the 50-50 up or if
Well,
he wants
'cause
to make it 75-25.
It's tough because I've been picking the Cardinals recently and they've been doing good when I picked them. They've won their games when I picked them. I'm gonna go Seahawks.
Wow, 50-50.
I'm gonna go Seahawks this week.
I mean, it's a deserving 50-50
It is.
game.
100% it is.
I'm gonna go Seahawks this week. It's a tough one. It's a really tough one for me, and this could ruin my spot. This game.
This next
49ers Packers.
I don't feel good about this at all. I'm picking the 49ers only
I'm
because I
picking the
think they have to
Niners.
win. And I think they're if they lose this game, they're very
Yeah.
much like in trouble to miss the playoffs. I just cannot see this 49ers team missing the playoffs,
I'm
even though
picking
they've
the
had a ton of
Niners.
struggles, a ton of injuries. But I feel like I just have to pick the 49ers.
Gabe,
but I don't feel good
Jake?
about it at all.
I'll go because I'll let Gabe explain his decision. But I'm also going with the Niners with basically going off of what I just said. I think the Niners will end up winning the NFC West. It might be a little rougher than people think, but I do think they end up winning the NFC West.
Gabe?
And they need to win this game.
I think there's a better team and a worse team here, and that's been shown over the course of the season. I just don't. This is another one of those matchups that I had a really tough time picking, but when it comes down to it, I mean, 7-3 speaks volumes, and the 49ers have shown some inconsistencies, and Yeah,
He's
I'm
gonna
going
go
Green
on an
Bay.
island pick.
I'm going on
That's
the
a great
Wow.
island pick. It is a
Green
great
Bay.
island pick.
It is.
Well, they are the
All
favorites
right.
in this matchup.
Next
Yeah.
up,
We'll do
we got
wonders.
Sunday night's football game: the Birds and the Rams. I'm going with the Birds.
I gotta look at something real quick.
Really?
Well,
Interesting.
while he's looking at whatever he's looking at.
I mean,
I'm
while
also
you're
gonna
looking
go
at it, I
Birds.
mean, I feel like it won't change your answer no matter what you look at.
Yeah,
All right,
exactly. I don't
Gabe,
know what
I just
the-
wanna-
Gabe, Jake.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna get
going
it
with the
over with.
Birds.
Yeah, I'm gonna get over with so I don't throw up. I'm gonna go with the Eagles.
I just want to
Okay.
say this line. Okay, what I looked up and I found the Eagles are only 3-point favorites. I know it's on the road. That's incredibly disrespectful. Heavy bet on the Eagles to cover the spread. Are you kidding me? No.
I don't think so.
All right,
This is not
that's
gonna
a
be a close game.
consensus there
It's
for
gonna be
Eagles.
defense.
And the last game we got is the Monday Night Football game of the Chargers and the Ravens. Both teams have been good this year,
I'm
but I don't think the
honestly-
Ravens. I don't think the Ravens lose back-to-back games. I'm taking the Ravens.
This
here.
is a heart over head pick. I think the Chargers have been the better team over the past 3 weeks. But
I agree, but I don't think
I
the
think-
Ravens lose again.
I think Lamar is going to have an insane game and carry this team and solidify his MVP candidacy. That's what I think is going to happen.
It's fair.
Back-to-back MVPs haven't been done since Aaron Rodgers.
True. That's true.
Chris, I think I agree with you. I don't think the Ravens, especially losing to the Steelers, I don't think they lose another game this season. So I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
Wow. That's a bold.
Hey, Gabe.
My head was telling me to go with the Chargers here. I don't know why. I just like what they have.
They're
I mean,
surprisingly
obviously
good.
that record looks nice too, but I do agree. I don't think the Ravens drop 2 straight. I think the better Birds get it done.
I think the Ravens do take another loss this season.
Against who? Because I said that without knowing the schedule.
Well, they have a really
At
difficult
least
schedule.
one to the Eagles or the Texans.
Do they
That's
play the
fair.
Steelers again, or have
And-
they already played them twice?
They do play the Steelers again. Well,
Yeah,
Daniel
no,
Jones
they'll
was-
split. They'll split with the Steelers.
Daniel Jones is the lone quarterback to ever beat Lamar Jackson in the NFC.
They'll
He is.
split. They'll split with the Steelers.
So
I
He's not
I'd
playing
probably
against
agree with that. Yeah.
Anybody got any closing thoughts now that we have all of our picks in and everything else?
Aaron Judge
Um,
MVP.
Francisco
I guess we'll have to
MVP.
talk about that next episode.
We will.
Joel Embiid.
Is not a leader.
You are a Laker.
Petition.
Okay.
Wait. Petition for Gabe to wear the glasses every episode.
If I do really well with these picks, I'm absolutely wearing these for every pick.
The
For every time
superstition is
we
real.
do picks, I'm absolutely wearing these. If
All
I do
right.
well.
Well,
How many yards does Saquon need to get this season to be in the MVP conversation?
2,000 total.
Total right now he's at 1,300, so he could get there.
Possible. I think Ben, realistically, 2,000 yards and I would say over 12 touchdowns. I think that's realistic.
He
MVP
already has
consideration.
11 touchdowns, so
So he just needs the 2,000 yards realistically.
yeah.
okay.
I
Cool.
think Lamar's the favorite, and then
Yeah.
Saquon moved into second, and then Derrick Henry is probably third, but he's kind of falling off. So we'll
Yeah.
see.
I wonder if Josh Allen might make a surprise run towards the
All
end.
right.
He could. He could.
That'll be it for today's show. So stay hyped, stay hungry, keep the frenzy alive. We'll see you on the next one, guys.